What's going on, everybody? ODC here, and I'm back with another action figure review. Today's review, we're going to take a look at the G.I. Joe Classified Series HasLab exclusive Night Force Ripcord. This is another figure that I bought separately from the set of figures, and I guess Bumblebee fell over here. I'll put him back up there. There we go. This is another set that I got from the same seller. He was trying to part out some of the figures he didn't really care for, so I got him on a pretty solid deal, which was the same deal I got on Crazy Legs. So I spent about $30 to get him, and I thought that was pretty solid, seeing as a regular retail figure goes for about $25. This figure, while a lot of him, there is some reuse from a previous figure, which we'll get to in comparisons and all that. He is very, very different. He does include quite a bit of accessories. We'll get to that when we get to accessories, but the overall look of the figure, and here is the up-close look. He does come with two different separate harnesses. He's got one for the backpack, and then he's got a belt harness right here, and then a separate harness that's up top for there's the ripcord right there. And he does have he does not come with a parachute, unfortunately. He is a paratrooper slash halo jumper. So kind of two birds, one stone. I think the overall look and aesthetic for this body is really well done. He is reusing some parts. I'm not sure which character was designed first, whether it was him or Wild Bill, but a lot of the flight suit is reused from Wild Bill. I want to say especially the legs here. With that being said, you can remove the backpack. It is part of this top harness. You do have to unclip it there, and then you can just slide it off, and it also pegs right into the back like so. So let's take that off first. Remove that, and there's the backpack peg. This is how I feel like going forward, how they should release most backpacks is with actual straps for the backpack. The pegs just have not been working well. I think this combo of harness or straps with the back peg works beautifully, and I wish they would adopt that for all future releases going forward. The jumpsuit looks really good, or flight suit, whatever you want to call it. Looks really, really nice. Very well done as far as that goes. Like I said, the legs are Wild Bill as well as Ripcord's. I think this was actually designed for Wild Bill, though. And they decided to use them for Ripcord, which I think works beautifully. I don't have the vintage figure, but it is very, very similar to that vintage style figure. Even the green painted boots, down to that for his Night Force look. There is some updated accoutrement that he has, like this right here. This, like, I guess, altitude detector for his hand. I'm sure there's a technical term for it. Someone can let me know in the comments below. Green gloves here. We've got this nice green harness, and he's got a green and black jump pack. Flipping around to the back, nothing too crazy going on as far as detail and stuff like that. I think the head sculpt looks pretty darn good. It is very stoic looking, which, it's not the worst thing in the world, but I think it does give off that almost vintage look for Ripcord. So I think the head sculpt looks perfectly adequate. It's not the best head sculpt, but it's pretty solid. I still, to this day, think that Airborne has one of the best head sculpts, and that and the original Duke has a very, very good head sculpt. So that's pretty nice for this. He's got some green paint for the zipper on the side of his arm there. Same thing goes for on the other side. And he also has the Night Force logo on his arm there, which is really nice. Pardon the paint on my hands. I was painting earlier, so there's that. He does also come with a pistol, which looks pretty much like the original one that was given with Duke in the earlier waves. I don't really mind this pistol. It doesn't really bother me too much. There is no porthole, so you cannot use blast effects with it, unfortunately. So I am kind of surprised that they decided to go with this pistol when there's so many other pistols that they could have given him. And especially being on a newer body with, you know, pretty much newer accessories for the most part. He does come with 2 rifles. One is a short rifle. This is the same rifles that came in the Viper pack, except for the grenade launcher. He does not include the grenade launcher rifle, but he does come with the no stock, and then he comes with this kind of like a, I guess like a DMR rifle. So there's that to point out. The harness does have this little pouch right here for his oxygen tank, which is pretty nice. He does have the holster, which is attached to the harness right here, which is really nice. A little bit of gray paint for the shirt underneath. And then it does say Weems right here, which is his last name. And it's pretty much just kind of covered up for the most part, which is a little bit unfortunate. But I guess if you sink this down a little bit, you can see Weems right there. So that's a nice little touch right there. So as far as the other accessories go, he does include his helmet, which has a removable, or not a removable, but a movable lens. You can remove the mask. The mask does plug directly into there. It is actually grooved to point to plug right into his little oxygen pouch right there, so you can plug that in. The other accessories he does come with, we have to open up the backpack because I stored them. He does come with a silencer or a suppressor, whatever you want to call it, that fits on the end of this barrel and the other rifle as well. So you can have that. There's nowhere to store it on him, so I just kind of stored it in the backpack. The next piece that he comes with is his goggles, which do fit right over his head very easily. So there you go with the goggles. Future ODC here. I did get the goggles on with the helmet, and I think it looks pretty darn good with the goggles on and the helmet and the visor removed. So just a little update there. Just wanted to point that out really quick. And yeah, that's it. We do have a little bit of paint detail on the back of the helmet right here, a little bit of green paint. And then he's got some optics right here. It looks like almost like a laser pointer guide or something like that. I don't know. Someone can let me know in the comments below the technical term, what it is that it actually is. But those are all the accessories right there. And you can kind of have his goggles sitting up on his head if you want to, like so. But the goggles, for the most part, while it's a nice touch, don't really serve too much of a purpose because he doesn't have an alternate helmet, unless you do kind of keep these up. Or I wonder if you can detach them. Yes, you can detach them. So I guess if you take these off, you could have them possibly, these possibly sit on the helmet. Let's see if we can do that. And we can take the mask off. And then maybe you can fit these over. It's not looking too good. So these are kind of meant to just be on the head, or maybe you could have them kind of dangling down like this for maybe a non-usage look for him. If you want to do that look. It's a little bit high on the neck though. So there's that to point out as well. And then to just plug the helmet back onto the head, you've got portholes on this side and then that side, and the same thing for that. And then you just want to kind of just toss it over his head, and it fits quite nicely. I do have his visor on upside down, so I'll go ahead and I'll adjust that. And then for the mask, it just plugs right back on here like so. Just like that. Nice little solid clasp. And then you can have the visor up or down, covering when he's about to do a jump. As far as gearing him up, we'll just put the backpack harness back on. The flight pack, or the jump pack, excuse me, not flight pack, but jump pack, back on. And we'll plug that into the back first before we clasp it in. There's a hole right in the back. There you go. And then you got this tab right here, tab hole, and you just kind of just fish it over and it slides right in. Next up, you just want to plug this right into the side there. You'll feel it once it's in. And then there is ripcord. Pretty much as far as suited up goes, that's pretty much it. So here is the Halo jumper. As you can see, it's pretty much I want to say the same helmet. The hose, I want to say, is different for the mask. The mask and the hose, I want to say, are different. Oops, excuse me. The plugins are different. They're differently sculpted, or at least, yes, slightly different. This pouch is a separate pouch that plugs into the backpack, where this doesn't have a hole for that pouch. The backpack sculpts are exactly the same. So the backpack is the same. The harness is completely different on him. On Ripcord is a newer harness, where this is an older one. I want to say this was given with Airborne. And the body is also on that Airborne / scrap iron body. So I really like the scrap iron body. It's like one of my favorites that they've offered. But this is an entirely different body. The tack vest is also reused from Airborne, where he has just a flight suit on. So a lot different there. He doesn't come with a knife or anything like that. So there are differences. The helmet is the same design, just with more paint offered. The visor is also the same. It just has more paint on it. It has a little green trim line going on. So there are a lot of similarities between the two. Like I said in my my review for this guy, I'm going to kind of use him as a skydive for now on, until we actually get a skydive, whether that's the vintage look with the silver and blue with Sky Patrol, or the Pursuit of Cobra, which I think this fits the bill for Pursuit of Cobra. He just doesn't have those big, awesome like flight wings or whatever. So that's what I'm going to go with from here on out, because he is just essentially just like a trooper character. The legs are also very different. As you can see, the flight suit legs for this, or jump legs for this, as opposed to the scrap iron body, which is pretty much very flight suit-esque, but not as much as this is. He's got the zippers right here, and it looks really good. I like that. So there's some differences between the two. So that is nice. I think the feet are exactly the same. I'm pretty sure that they are. There's even the 2 air holes on the side of the shoe. So those are the same feet. Also, I want to point this out. Does have the altitude meter. It is just painted different. So painted different, same sculpt. And then also the gloves are different as well. He's got knuckle dusters here, where these are more of like your regular gloves. So the head can swivel at a full 360 if you needed to. Not that you should. The head can go up about that far. The head can look down. I mean, in the future, and I've said this in previous reviews, they need to get back to re-engineering the neck and the range of motion in the neck for the head, so it can look further up. With these military characters, you want them to be able to look up higher. And then looking down is pretty much almost neutral for him. You can't really get him to look down. And on a separate ball peg neck joint with a ball peg down here and then a ball peg up here, you should be able to really get awesome range of motion. You really kind of can't. This neck is also very, very stiff, and it doesn't like to move all that much, even though it's separately pegged into the body. I don't know if this neck was reused for somebody else and it's just too thick for this body, but it doesn't really give you a whole lot of range of motion. You're mostly getting the range of motion out of the head that's pegged onto the neck portion. So you do get a little head tilt right there. Let's see if we got jive turkeys. Not a whole lot, just a little. And that's about it. Arms go up, arms go down. You can also swivel the neck separately from the head as well, but the arms do go up about that far, and that is pretty much maxed out as far as the T-pose goes. He does have butterfly joints, which are there, and this is him getting his arms essentially all the way in as far as I can. This does get in the way quite a bit. He does have a bicep swivel. He does have a double jointed elbow, which there you go with the double joints. And then on this side, he does have a wrist swivel. He does have a vertical hinge joint on this side. And over here, he also has a vertical hinge joint on that side. So 2 trigger hands with vertical hinge joints. I guess it's fine. I always like to have 1 lateral and then 1 vertical, just for looking down the sight's sake. He does have an actual ab crunch, which does have a detense point. You can hear the click. So there's that. You're not going to get a whole lot of range of motion with the backpack on. Let me see if you can get any better with it off. Let me get this off really quick. There we go. And you can get a little bit better range of motion with the backpack off. And then, yes, you can get a better crunch. It's almost like just a 2-click point, and these are supposed to be separate to give the illusion that it's kind of connected. So there's that to point out as well. He does have a waist swivel and a kind of like a tilt, and that's essentially you can do the wiggles. Drop down legs, a little bit hindered due to the harness just kind of holding onto the leg a little bit, but you can drop it down, and then he can do splits. You could go a little bit further. I don't want to push it just because I don't think this character really needs to do all of that. But there you go with that. And then kind of smoothing those back in. He does have an upper thigh swivel, a double jointed knee. And he does have does he have a boot cut? No, there's no boot cut on this guy. It's all just sculpted. He can point the toe about that far, not the best. Pointy heely. Ankle pivot, 2 peg holes, and a partridge and a pear tree. As far as comparisons go, I already showed the comparison with the Halo Jumper. I just thought I would toss him back in here for comparison with a fellow paratrooper. But we also have obligatory Duke there, so there's those comparisons. And next up, we've got Jada Toys Invisible Man, and then we also have Captain Rex from the Black Series. Next up, we've got 2 Mattel figures. We've got the Mattel X-Pac Elite figure, and then we also have the Mattel Halo Series Jerome. And next up, we've got a NECA figure in the T800 Retro figure on the right. And then on the left, we've got the Jada Toys Street Fighter II Guile. Okay, and last up, I figured we'd get all the Jump Troopers together. I'm so glad that we have this amount of Jump Troopers, including a brand new character in Parth Varma on the right there. One of my favorite, I want to say my top tier favorite figures in the classified line, which is Airborne. And then we've got Crazy Legs. And then we've got the Halo Jump Trooper. And then we've got Ripcord now. So I'm really pleased with this. I hope we get Free Fall. And I hope we get some Cobra Air Vipers as well as a Paraviper. Those are some of my favorite Cobra Troopers as far as that goes. But for now, this'll do. I guess if you wanted to include some of the Cobra Eels, the Snow Serpents, as also, I would say more so the Snow Serpents as Jump Troopers as well, because they kind of are the jack of all trades. You can include those two. Looking forward to a Rock Viper possibly in the future as well, but I thought I would showcase all of the Joe side right here, because that's really the side that I lean more towards, is the Joes more so than Cobra. Okay, so in closing with the G.I. Joe HasLab classified Night Force Ripcord, I said that kind of weird in a weird way, but I think this is a solid figure. I would say he's probably the third best. I would put Crazy Legs over him just because I feel like he's a little bit more unique than Ripcord here. He is reusing some parts, where Crazy Legs has a lot of new stuff, including a brand new rifle, new helmet, a hat, goggles, the whole new body, brand new head, all that stuff. But I will say this. I think Ripcord's head sculpt is a little bit better painted and has better detail than Crazy Legs. So it's kind of a give and take there, but I think this is a solid offering. I would definitely, if you don't want to spend the money, or you don't already have your Dragonfly and you don't have this guy, I would definitely wait I'm seeing eBay prices anywhere from $50 to $70 for this guy, and I don't think it's worth that. He's definitely going to get a regular release or a retro card release. Regardless, you're going to get him in his more traditional look. And I think I'll be honest with you, his more traditional look, his regular look, I think has a better color scheme anyway. He kind of has that woodland. So I'll go ahead and I'll give this guy I will give him a 2 thumbs up. I still think Night Force, the Night Force offering with the Dragonfly is a solid offering. And hopefully in the future we will get no patches and we'll just get 4 figures, and just like this wave offered, or this HasLab offered. I think it's a solid figure. If there was something that I could fix on the figure, I would have given him I don't know, a different pistol. That's a nitpick. I also, maybe I would have given him his own rifle. I think he used a G3 back in the day, so if you can give him some sort of updated rifle for that, that would have been nice. But I guess I don't mind the reused for the Viper rifle. Other than that, I like his the backpack reuse. I think that's good reuse for the Halo jumpers. I think it's perfect for them. I like the fact that they did use the flight suit, similar flight suit to Wild Bill, as far as that goes. And I also like the reuse for the helmet as well. I love the new harness that he's got. That's pretty much his harness. I like that it does say his last name on his chest. That's really good. There's no paint slop really on him that I've seen. The quality control is pretty solid on him with articulation and range of motion. So he doesn't have any loose limbs or anything like that. And I think that's pretty much it. So I would recommend him, but stick around that almost a little bit above retail because he is a specialty item. Other than that, yeah, that's it for Ripcord here. I want to say thank you to my members of Terry Turner and Woodman29. And if you want to become a channel member, become a Jive Turkey, you can in the description box below. There is a link. I have multiple tiers now, so you can join at whatever price you wanted to. I also do random giveaways, so if you want to check that out, keep an eye out for that. And I do also do mentions every video for my channel members, so there are perks. Other than that, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. What do you think about Ripcord here? I think he's a really good, solid offering. And yeah, that's pretty much it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Leave a like, subscribe, comment. It always helps the algorithm. And I will see you guys on the flip side.